All right, everybody, this is your review for the Eastern Woodlands Native American Study Guide. So first, let's start with the paper that is your study guide that actually has the vocabulary words. So you have tribe, league, wampum, reservations, longhouse, culture, and cultural region. Okay? So if you want to put your name, you can put your name here, just in case you want to do that. So, for way of life, that means everything their home, their food, their clothes, tools, resources, fun, and beliefs. We call that a group's culture. For number two, a group of people who live together under one leader. That would be called a tribe. Land that was set aside by the United States government for Native American Indians is called a reservation. Oops. And as you can see, guys, there was an S on this one, but this one just means one, a reservation, so that change is a little bit different. And then an organized group of people united for a purpose or reason, that was called a blank. Here we're talking about the Iroquois League, so the answer for that one would be league. And then a large wooden home that held many people in the Eastern Woodlands was a longhouse. Polished shells made into a belt that was very valuable. They called that wampum. And then an area where people with a similar culture live, that would be cultural region. Okay, and then for the next part, it says to list the resources that the Eastern Woodlands natives used and give examples of how they used them. So they said, for the example, grass and plants, they could use that to weave baskets. All right, so one example could be tree bark. They could use that to build longhouses. Another one would be the rivers. They could use that for fishing. Another example would be the different animals. Deer would have been a major resource. Rabbits, probably, maybe even some beavers. So animals would have provided food and clothing, right? So those are, oh, and then also the shells, the wampum shells, those would create the wampum belts, right? So those are just a couple of the different natural resources and how they helped the Native Americans. So the next one, and that was your study guide paper. So the next one we're going to do is the Eastern Woodlands fill in the blank. So this one just kind of takes a little bit of everything from these notes on the Eastern Woodlands and just kind of puts them into one passage. So please double check yours. The Eastern Woodlands Indians lived in the eastern, and as you can see, I'm going to need to change my size of my font. So make sure that y'all pick one that goes good with the size of your boxes. So they lived in the eastern part of North America, the continent. From the blank ocean to the Mississippi River. Well, they're near the ocean we're near, so that would be the Atlantic Ocean. To the Mississippi River, including in the northwest, that would be the Great Lakes region. Many tribes were found within this area. Among them were tribes that made up the Great Iroquois Confederacy or Iroquois League. It was an area covered by vast, you could say woods or you could say forests, which the Indians used to make their houses, tools, and weapons. They hunted animals of the forest for blank and clothing. Food, major food source. The blank woodland Indians, as in, that's their name, the name of its region, so it would be the eastern woodland Indians or natives, grew blank, blank, and blank. They are called the Three Sisters. So that would be corn, beans, and squash. The Three Sisters. They gathered wild berries, nuts, and also rice. Wild rice. The lakes, rivers, and streams supplied the Indians here with blank and blank. So you could say fish, you could say food for that one, and you could also say fresh water. Gotta have that to survive. And then if you look under here, you have two photographs. The Eastern Woodlands Indians respected the land and thanked it for the resources it provided. So here you see corn, beans, and squash, the Three Sisters. And then over here you see one of their longhouses. So that was your review for the Eastern Woodlands. Please make sure you make your corrections on yours and get ready to learn about the Great Plains.